A lot have asked me at work, at different places here, and even on this my YouTube channel on how I have managed to learn Finnish language enough that I use it to work in the number one hospital here in Finland, in Helsinki. And in today's video, I'm going to address that question. And the essence of this video is to tell you that you too can learn this language. It is a continuous process for me. It is still a continuous process for me. I am still learning every day at work, when I meet people, my friends, and it's just a continuous process. So let me just say it out there. I haven't learned Finnish, honestly. All I am doing is continuing to learn and learn and learn every day and better my Finnish language capacity. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In this YouTube channel, we discuss everything about Finland, work route, study route, and all there is to know about this country and how you can move from your home country or wherever you're residing right now to this country without much hurdle. And also we talk about, of course, other countries in Europe and every part of the world where there are opportunities for people to move successfully. Now, here I am going to talk about my journey in learning Finnish language. It has been a long one. I have lived in Finland for now 7 years plus. And one thing I have noticed about Finnish language that is the first thing I'm going to teach you today is that it is a continuous process and you just have to learn. You just have to use the language. The problem that we all have as adults that are learning new languages is that it makes you look dumb. It makes you feel like you don't know anything. It makes you feel like you are learning like a child. You're speaking like a child. And people do not want that. I myself personally never wanted that. So any slightest opportunity that I could get to change to English language, I just switch it immediately. First thing I ask you when I come into a place is, do you speak English? If you say yes, I drop Finnish entirely. At the beginning, it was like that for me because I didn't want to even look foolish. Knowing how much I know and not being able to say it in a language that I'm not comfortable with makes me feel don't just try it, okay? So I know many of you guys are in my shoe and many of you guys will still be in my shoe. So what I'm telling you is, please let yourself learn. Let yourself speak like a child. Let yourself make the mistakes, because without it, my dear, you are not going to learn the language. At some point, I had to tell myself to drop the attitude of wanting to be perfect in a language that I'm hearing for the first time in my entire life as an adult. I just cannot be perfect from just being in Finland. It's not enough. So I kept using the Finnish language at every point in time that I could use it. And then another thing that made my Finnish language journey a bit more challenging, which of course pushed me to learn more, was the fact that I am in a discipline that you must speak language. I tell people come to Finland a lot and they end up working in some discipline that they are probably not talking to anybody, doing cleaning or some jobs that they don't have actually human relationship, or they have patience, or they have they're working fully in English language. So that makes them almost not needing the Finnish language. And if you don't need the language, you don't see the need to learn the language. That's how it works. So my studying nursing in Finland pushed me. It became a compulsory part of my stay in Finland to learn Finnish language, because you cannot treat patients or interact with patients if you just do not speak Finnish language. Though our programs are in English, we had our practical trainings in Finnish language, and those practical trainings are the ones that pushed us the most. It pushed me the most. Okay, so do not opt. There are few schools in Finland where you can be studying nursing and you get the opportunity to do your practical trainings in English. Do not opt for it. Do not go for it. Anything that will make you speak language in the most uncomfortable way, put you in a condition where you just can't do anything but speak Finnish, that is what you need to learn, because that is the only push that you need. It is very important to learn the language, to study the language. If you have an opportunity to register for an online Finnish course, there is this courses in Finnish.fi website where you can register for Finnish language courses online free of charge. I'm going to leave the link to that courses online to the description of this video. Register as much as you can, participate as much as you can. I did Finnish language for 3 full months before I wrote my entrance exam to study nursing, which demanded Finnish language, and I passed. Those 3 months seemed very little, but there were the foundation that I needed to build on. You just need to build on something. It is very hard for someone who do not have any form of language learning or classes, even if it's 3 times a week, 2 times a week. It's very hard for that person to build or continue to build on something. You need to have the basics. You need to have the forms. Like, so that 3 months of me going to language courses, like 2 hours, like 2 hours 3 times a week, kind of built my basics. If you find any opportunity to register for any language course, Finnish language course, please do that, and please try to use all the resources that they are offering you to strengthen your Finnish. Now, work life also is where my Finnish skyrocketed. The truth is, I am not from a Finnish background, and I have friends that are basically in the beginning from my home country and of course other Africans. It is quite challenging to make Finnish friends here. So I didn't have like people or friends that I use Finnish with after I have probably studied in class or after I've whatever that I've learned online or whatever. So I did not have the space to practice. So if you have any opportunity to make friends, Finnish friends, people that will practice the language with you, people that are willing to let you make mistakes, it will be easier for you to make mistakes with your friends and then learn better than, of course, in an official settings. So I didn't have that at the beginning, and it kind of drew slowly my learning process. So when I finally was able to finish all my practical training, if you're studying nursing, you know that you need to do loads of practical training in the hospitals, in the language, several times before you graduate. So my practical training, I think we had 9 or 8 of them, and they are like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 10 weeks long. So this period is where you go to work, you go to your department or a department in the hospital, and then you do the work and you don't get paid. It's like internships where you practice what you've learned in class. These internships were where I was using my language. While I was doing those things, it was more challenging for me, but I learned the skills, nursing skills in English. So I just knew what I was doing, even though my Finnish wasn't enough. And that was my stronghold. So after all this learning at home, using Duolingo, I used Duolingo a lot, like playing the games. I had the app on my phone. I used to learn words. I print words like Finnish words and English words. I have vocabulary, like a very big printout, that even if I'm sitting on the bus while going to school, I'm just looking at them, I don't remember half of them. But the thing about languages is that you don't really need to remember them that time you're learning them. Maybe after a week you're learning them or something. A scenario will come up that will push you to remember one word that you have learned over and over and over again, and probably you use it, or you hear someone say it and you'll be like, I know that word. So that was how I was just doing Duolingo, using my phone with that. I was checking words. I am writing at all of my practical trainings, every word that I see that I don't know, which is like mostly 99% of the words, I write them down. I had a jotter. I write down, I find the English word. So I was just fiercely doing my best. Everybody has their capacity. My best might not be your best and some other person's best, but I believed at the time I was doing all I could. Now, after I've graduated and done all my practical trainings and everything, my Finnish was still not so good. In fact, I wasn't saying much. And as a student, most of the time you work in places that you really do not need serious language to succeed in it. So basically, I worked in old people's homes. I worked in home care where you just go in and go out. You don't do much, just give medication and you're gone. So my Finnish was still on the basic level. But then, when I finally got this job at Helsinki University Hospital, which is the #1 hospital in Finland, and my boss who hired me believed in me so much that with my little Finnish, she was able to give me the job. I'm still like in my final year when I finally got this workplace. I am working right now. So that's work. When you have to work in the hospital where doctors are going for rounds, you have to know exactly, use ABCDE evaluation of all the patients, their background, their everything. You need to know them, say them, and interact with doctors about the treatment process. Do you think there is anything different that we should be doing that we haven't done? Like, oh my goodness, I don't want to talk about the tests. The tests. Oh, it was loads of work. But that loads of work that I found myself in was all I needed. I will come home like this in a day and my head is like almost like turning me. Like after my job, I feel 3 times exhausted than my counterparts who are working in the language. So it was hectic, but that was all I needed. That I speak Finnish today, like to a reasonable extent that I can communicate, was because of this, my workplace, that I was forced to use the language as much as possible. And here I am still learning. Like I said, I have learned enough that I wrote my UKI test, that is the Finnish language test for citizenship application. I wrote it in 2020. And I passed all the 4 sections. I got all the minimal mark, at least for the whole section, all the required mark, I got it. And I just wrote it once and I used it to apply for my citizenship. So in all of this, what do I want you to take home today? Finnish language is a difficult language, but it's not impossible for you to learn. You just have to learn and continue to learn and use it at every possible opportunity that you find yourself to use it. Do not dodge it. If you dodge it, it prolongs the time that it will take you to learn it. Okay? And then, please make sure to register for all these Finnish language courses that are free of charge. You don't pay anything for them. And practice and practice and practice. Okay? And I don't think I did any other magic. I used to tell people, this is just my life. 7 years is a very long time to be expert in a language, but I am not expert in Finnish. I am just speaking the one that is enough for me, that I'm making money with, and that I'm working every day, like basic living in Finnish language without having any hurdles. So that's my capacity. I'll keep learning and I will keep progressing, and hopefully maybe someday I will speak like a Finn, or probably just speak well enough that nobody will be like wondering, is this person learning to speak Finnish or not? No. Kiitos paljon. I'm going to say a few words in Finnish and then I'm going to tell you guys what they mean in English. No. Kiitos paljon. Kiitos kaikille. Mä olen tosi iloinen, että te olette täällä mun kanssa. Ja tänään mä oon yrittänyt paljon kertoa teille, miten mä olen oppinut suomen kielellä. Se on jatkuva prosessi ja se jatkuu siihen saakka, ehkä kuin mun loppuelämään, että näin se menee, että ei ole muuta, ei ole muita vaihtoehtoja. Ihan jatkuvasti. Puhu vaan rohkeasti, käytä vaan tämä kieli ja jossain vaiheessa se vaan paranee itse. Ja sinä olet ihan ok ja sinä pärjät sen kanssa. Eli what do I say, or what have I said? Just keep using the language. Don't be discouraged. And with time, you're going to figure out that you just don't think about it anymore. Speaking it, I don't think about it anymore these days. I still make mistakes, but it is very minimal mistakes that, of course, anybody that's learning languages could do. So thank you so much for watching. I wish you the best of luck as you're learning your language. If you want to practice with me, if you want me to give you any additional class, I don't even know any class to teach you, but maybe you could practice with me sometimes if I have the time. Thank you guys for watching and see you all in my next video. Bye guys.